I saw the first episode. House of the Dragon. I have not seen Game of
I'm
Thrones
intrigued.
still. I still haven't seen Game of Thrones. So House of the Dragon.
Great
First
segue.
episode. If you from fucking wipe your ass with your hand, I was trying to segue from the Queen.
Nah, I know.
nigga.
I know. We already canceled.
So
By the time they see this, we've already been buried. So.
all of England
Mom.
is coming at us. We ain't saying no disrespectful.
Yeah.
But so just watching it,
Mm-hmm.
it as if it was just a show, because that's what it is. It was just a show, no Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And fucking what was it, Renea? The young lady's name. Anyway, all the characters, the way they set this first episode up, they had enough time to do it too, and they did it like really tight knit. And I looked at the runtime, I'm like, damn man, they put a lot in this one fucking episode. I mean, just initially, just the look of it, cinematography, which is HBO. All the money they put in this shit coming from Game of Thrones. I've seen some shit from Game of Thrones.
Ever.
The fucking cinematography, beautiful.
Mm.
I can't. I mean, I'm really big on this because I hope to have a big budget one day.
Yeah.
For my movies and shit.
Mm-hmm.
The fucking wardrobe is off the fucking hook on it. I don't know if they get Emmys for wardrobe and shit.
No,
Sure
well,
but the wardrobe
they
on
do.
this shit is so
people do.
like they get the close ups and you can see all the scene that
It's,
wardrobe
it's
in this shit
spoilers.
is so fucking dope.
It's this whole thing is because Game of Thrones was so impactful that they knew going into anything outside of that everything was going to be critiqued.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
And
I
it's
assume. So.
I didn't look at it, but
Right.
they were, there's people that obviously look at things like this and they were like, you gotta see her necklace. And and the necklace had all of the 7 kingdoms in her necklace. I'm like,
Nice.
dog, I'm not even near yet.
I love attention to detail like that too. And
this
that's what I'm
show-
saying. I was like the wardrobe, the whatever with the dragons and stuff like that. Yeah, they look cool. It was as good as Jurassic Park or whatever. But just the cinematography, the landscape.
Mm-hmm.
I think everything wasn't on location. I know they used like it's not the volume, but it's like those screens.
Yeah.
The new shit that they get, the new technology. They used it well enough that you don't know which from what. Like, is it on location or is it inside the studio? But yeah, but other than that, like just the visuals was great.
Mm-hmm.
But the story, of course, is what we getting at because I kept asking you, do I need to watch Game of Thrones before I watch this? I didn't need to.
Right. No.
Bottom line,
Either
but
way.
this story it gives you so much like come back to see what happens with this and this and this.
Right.
I mean, the boy Damon or whatever, like seeing his story, her story, becoming queen at the end, like you see, or becoming the heir to the throne or whatever at the end. The first female
It's
one.
all about the air.
A big deal. And what her uncle feels about how he feels about that. The fucking king.
And you only watched the one. You only watched one.
Yeah, you only watched one. The king losing his child, who was going to be an heir because of the son, and his wife in the same. I was like making that decision. First of all, he made that decision to do that. I was like, damn. So that drama, and then the court.
Mm-hmm.
Going to trying to be like, well, you don't want Damon to do this shit because this motherfucker tripping. Like, what I mean, he be tripping.
I'm
Damon, right? That's named Damon.
telling you,
But-
and I'm telling everybody,
What's up?
this motherfucker has to watch Game of Thrones.
I
That
mean,
is going to be without a shadow of a doubt.
is Prince Damon in Game of Thrones?
No,
Is
but,
Rhaenyra in Game of Thrones?
We're only gonna go off of what I've seen. So I've watched every episode to date. So it's only been 3, I think, right? 3 episodes to right now, whatever this is. September.
Yeah, Game of Thrones. I mean, of House of
9th.
the Dragon, right?
Yeah, House of Dragon. House of Dragon only have 3 episodes right now.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy that if you would say you would, because a lot of people will go and say, whenever there's a prelude, they will watch the prelude before they watch the actual show. I'm like, dog, you would watch it and you will be so mad at yourself that you watched it without,
Without watching Game of Thrones.
yeah, like it's.
So when I see Game of Thrones, I'm gonna be upset.
You will be upset that you were like, you thought this thought, and it's not wrong that you're watching it in the fashion that you're watching it, but it's just the fact that they already you got to think about it. The reason that they make
more upset
the reason that they make this
first.
show is because of the success of the show Game of Thrones.
Gotcha.
Like, this show only exists because of the success of Game of Thrones. You do like
I understand that.
You cannot like I'm just and I know like the humor that we share. You would entirely
but it wasn't,
kick yourself in the butt.
I don't know.
I know you would. I know, but you know it's easy
what
to say that.
What does that say about this show then? If I'm gonna be upset.
This show is just the show was so good that you just people want to keep watching it, but you can't keep watching. They already killed the damn blah blah blah. They already did the thing, and then everything already ended. And then, but it's a story at the end. But even still,
you can't say that though. You can't say that I'm gonna be upset watching Game of Thrones after I watch this.
I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna put my money on it.
Okay,
I'm put my money on it.
I guess that'll be.
People will ask you whenever whatever show come out, whatever show you watching right now, you'll say who's your favorite character, and then you'll be like, all right, blah 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 blah. Why do you like it or her? And it's because of this or because of that. Dog, Game of Thrones, fucking, they throw you all these people, and you like,
my
how can I
continued
not?
argument is this show is this show.
Yeah.
This is this story.
It's only the story because
I don't need to hear
the new
I know,
or the old. I mean,
I understand, but this show has to stand on its own. I should be able to watch it and enjoy it for what it is. Is what I'm saying. I don't need to hear a story about a story about you before I hear a story about your granddad. If your granddad wants to tell me a story about him when he was young. This is the granddaddy. I'm saying, if your grandfather wants to tell me a story about when he was young, I don't need to hear a story about you before I hear a story about when he was young. He could tell me his story about he was young. I can enjoy it. Yeah. You can tell me about your story, and I can enjoy it. I ain't going to be like, well, damn, I wish I would have heard the story that Carl had to tell before I heard the grandfather's story. Each of these stories stand on their own is all I'm saying.
I completely understand, and that's why I was thinking before we even filmed this, I was like, it's just that this show they don't even press record because of what we saw. We saw what was it? Battle of the Bastards was the most watched TV show of all time. Like, that birthed this. Like, people want to keep watching, but they got to switch it up. You don't want to keep, the story went the way it went, but now we got to go 200 years before. So now we're back here now. So now people like myself, I would say, are like, all right, this is what it is, but I want to see some tying in of the knots here. I need to see where does this play along with this character that I fell in love with.
That's interesting because should you have to?
I think so.
So with the new Lord of the Rings, things need to tie in is what you're saying. Like with Mandalorian and stuff like that, you need to have Luke Skywalker or somebody else tie into that. Mandalorian can't stand on its own.
Yeah, I haven't even been all up on that, but it would be nice to kind of see the whole process of the ring. That like it'd be nice. Smeagol getting the ring. Gotta be 1,000 of Smeagol.
I haven't seen the Lord of the Rings thing yet.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, but that was back in the day. I think I'm Lord of the Rings out.
But I do think, and I guess I'm kind of happy, or it's cool that I'm in the position to be able to not have seen Game of Thrones and be able to appreciate this for what it is. Yeah, it's a different perspective. That's all.
You are.
Cause I understand, like you said, you want to see stuff tie in. I want to see this stand alone. Like when I watched Mandalorian, I wanted the Mandalorian stand alone. Don't have nobody else have to tie into it. Can this Mandalorian story stand on its own? Can Obi-Wan? Well, I guess Obi-Wan have to tie into it.
It's kind of unfair because Game of Thrones stands on its own, like the previous show. Yeah, it's already what it is. People already have their, And again, I so heartily hate that people hated the last season. I'm like, how else would you want it to go? Like, what are you going to change? Like, they've made it what it was. The show got so big that they were like, oh, it's not going to end this way. We're going to make it end that way. And they made it end in the way that it ended. Like, it was just a part of the story. It was like, we didn't miss anything. Yeah. I didn't, see something that shouldn't happen. It was all, what HBO does. HBO is like, you know, HBO's my favorite production channel
network,
or
whatever.
fucking network,
Yeah.
and they really know how to. They know how to piss you off. Like, I'm coming to these people for them to excite me and to piss me off. I'm like, this is not MTV. I don't want to see people climbing from rafters and fucking real reality.
Right.
You know, no. The storyline is like every like story doesn't have to have a happy ending.
Yeah.
But it's so many.
Not everybody has to live.
They definitely let you know there's going to be happy endings, but there's going to be some fucking drama along with it.
Yeah,
and HBO will definitely take you on that ride, and you're going to be like mad as fuck HBO, but then you're going to be like, oh, fucking bravo. Like,
well, with House of the Dragon, they doing a really good job.
House of the Dragon,
enjoying it.
From my perspective, after 3 episodes, I felt like with Game of Thrones when the first 3 episodes, I was like,
were you constantly,
what is this show?
As a Game of Thrones, as you viewed it and stuff like that, in the fan, like, do you find yourself comparing it constantly to it?
I found myself trying to. It got to be some cousins, like great cousins. We got to like enter. Oh, this is where such and such deprives from, or you know. Stuff like that, but yeah, I constantly find myself I'm trying to mesh the stories together.
If it doesn't have anything connected to it, is that a bad thing? Like, would you like it less?
Because of how I know the story of Game of Thrones went, I'm hoping that this provides some sort of I don't even know, like. It just has to connect with what we knew.
But if it doesn't, like...
If it don't, it don't. Because that's pretty much probably the beauty of it. Like, you know...
Maybe like the last episode, Mike, or something like that.
Game of Thrones is all about people chasing this crown. So it's all these people that's like, oh, this person should be the ruler. Or this person should be the ruler. So they're all fighting over who should be the ruler. Yeah. Whereas House of Dragons is like... There's a person, and he's like he has to name his heir. Yeah. But then he, you know, traditionally he don't have a person to name. So now there's just people fighting for that naming of, you know, to be the heir of the throne. So it's like there's a lot lost in that in itself. So that's why I'm like, you know, the show is the show. It's cool. Let's just see where they take it. But, you know, it doesn't, it just don't even compare to Game of Thrones. It's just like, you know.
That's why I like that I haven't seen, you know, Game of Thrones, because I don't have that tunnel vision. I don't have that distraction of thinking about Game of Thrones.
No, for sure.
It's just these characters are brand new to me. Are they cool enough? Do they capture my interest? And yeah, like I said, everything I said for the first episode, I want to see what's going to happen next. As long as you keep me wanting to know what's going to happen next, I'm there. You know what I mean? I don't have to think about any connecting tissue and nothing like that. I'm not being like, oh, well, what about this? And questioning that and looking for Easter eggs. I'm just enjoying this show. And I mean, I don't know, I think that's a unique perspective that I have, fortunately. Yeah. And you have a different perspective, which I'm glad that you've seen it. Because, you know, I think it's good to have that contrast and stuff like that. But, so you haven't, without spoilers, not because I haven't seen all 3, but, like, have you seen anything connected yet? Has anything been connected? Nothing? Damn. No. But again, the chair, the throne is the only thing that's still...
The throne is the throne.
What?
Everything is about the throne.
Episode 1. Is the throne cutting motherfuckers? Like, what the hell's going on? Is that something that happened in Game of Thrones? Because his finger got cut, his back cut. I'm like, what
the back part.
Put some different shit on.
He has this freaking wound.
And not from the chair, though. I think it seemed like he not lied. It seemed like he was like...
but I mean, it's the chair. You.
What the fuck is going on? Why don't put some patent on this bitch?
No, I forget.
What's his name? Daenerys?
I forget the story about it from Game of Thrones.
Did she cut herself sitting on that thing?
I forget the story. It's in Game of Thrones. They talk about it, but it's like something that, you know, just me. I clearly forgot and didn't take it too, but it's they talk about the chair, how the chair was formed. You know, dragons formed the chair, blah blah blah.
No, they didn't.
But back when they show you the chair, is way more swords than what the chair ends up being.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, what's going on with this? And then he's cutting the back.
In this show, is more swords than it is in Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Oh, they dialed that shit down.
What everybody sees in Game of Thrones, you just, the commercials, if you bought the box set, you just see the chair. The chair is the chair, and it's made out of swords.
Yeah,
this one got swords
going
out
down
in
the
the goddamn, and they all been molded by a dragon. That was what I took from Game of Thrones.
Were they though? No, I'm playing. All right.
But then you.
So that's like an Easter egg, I guess.
Yeah.
That the throne look, y'all get to see what the origin of the throne, I guess, a little bit, the way that looked back in the day.
What it ended up being like.
Shit.
And then what it ended up. Oh man, come on!
No,
if you watch Game of Thrones, that fucking chair, everybody and their mom wanted that chair.
Yeah, and people was putting it in their house too. People was getting it put in their house. So you're enjoying it thus far?
I'm not.
Oh, you're not enjoying House of the Dragon,
bro?
Oh, I thought you were liking it. Oh, okay, all right. Well, my bad.
So
because of the non-connective, or just the politics?
Okay, so me personally, I'm like a visual, and I see people, and I put people to face to other things.
All right.
So if you look at the princess, this probably is like one of her better pictures, or whatever. But a lot of her pictures, a lot of her showings, she remind me of Howard the Duck. And if you're familiar with Howard the Duck, we can skip past all of that.
She reminds me of Howard the Duck.
Look up more pictures of her. She's definitely, I have nothing against nobody.
This is why you don't like the show, because she look like Howard the Duck?
Show me a picture of Howard. Probably one of these guys right here. Just you could probably pick any of them. Just scroll through a couple. But you got to scroll through a couple.
Is that what the issue? Is that what the issue is with her though?
With me, yeah.
I'm a visual.
Her character, just like
Oh, why you say Howard the Duck? Why you put that into the?
Now you got it.
Into the universe, man.
It's in there.
I'm trying to find one.
Stupid. God made me this way, so take it up with him. But this is how it is. I just see her.
But I see it when
I see her. All right. So we don't gotta go too hard in her, but you can now see she's pretty much Howard the Duck. That's
you can now
she looks
see
like.
She's pretty much Howard the Duck.
Dog. I'm nice with this, but we can move on to her uncle. What's his name? Damon.
Stupid. All right. What about Damon? Oh yeah, we already did him.
Did we do him?
Yeah, that's
Ghostbusters. Damn. All right, here we
Ghostbusters. Yeah.
He just. It's just too. I need to get paid for this. So
this is why you don't like the show.
Whoever's watching, dog, I know people. I see faces. But I'm not trying to tell on people. I'm not trying to work for the FBI and nothing like that. Niggas,
Why people gotta look like inanimate objects and fucking comic book characters and shit. It's stupid.
If they ever put me against somebody and said, pick somebody out from this line, dog, is a wrap. I'm telling on everybody.
Oh.
Especially if they giving me a year's worth of Disney. On Netflix.
All right, so what you like about the show then? Come on now. You gotta like something. You like Game of Thrones. You said this is the baby seed from Game of Thrones.
I love Game of Thrones.
So you anti this because it's not Game of Thrones?
No, I just like, and I'm giving this a fair shot. I gave Game of Thrones a fair shot.
For 15 minutes at first.
It took me a year to get into Game of Thrones. And then look where I'm at today. I'm claiming this is like one of the top 3 best shows of all time.
Right.
But during those, first couple episodes, they just reeling you in slowly. They're not yanking you.
House the Dragon though, they
House the Dragon, they're not yanking you.
Seem to pick up in the first episode for me.
And hey, look,
you
that's
not
what
digging
I'm saying.
it? You not digging it?
I haven't like grasped it yet.
3 episodes in?
Yeah, and I'm saying like Game of Thrones. I haven't grasped that until
how many episodes?
It definitely was, but I gave it I was like I'm a like give it its due diligence and I'm gonna watch it.
Right.
And I stuck through that whole first season and was like, okay, I see like what I can like about this show.
Mm-hmm.
But this right here, I'm right in that same grass. I'm like, they haven't snatched me up yet. And that's just me. I'm sick. So I'm like, when I watched Game of Thrones, I didn't find something to grasp on until I seen the Imp. And the Imp is like the outcast of the family. And he don't, the royal family, whenever they go on trips, the royal family goes as one. But the Imp, he goes with them, but he don't go into the city that they go to or whatever they're traveling. He stays behind and he just goes to the whorehouses. And he just goes and drink wine and sleep with hookers and shit like that.
Yeah.
I was like, not saying that I'm like a hooker person or a wine drinker, but I was like, okay, I can fuck with the underdog. Like now the show, it gave me an underdog. So then I've rooted for him. And I was like, dog, this is my favorite person.
Is that what you're looking for in House of the Dragon?
I'm looking for a grasping point. I'm looking for like a character or somebody.
None of the characters? You ain't...
I haven't. Right now, the characters is the princess, the king, the brother,
Damon. Yeah.
and that's it. And I'm like, the brother remind me from the dude.
What about the what do they call him? The King's Hand, the dude that sits.
I seen some shit about him, like nothing to do with the show, but like his prior like movies and titles that he's done. Yeah, the actor. He's like been some wild type of guy, like a Cheech and Chong type of guy, who now is playing some serious role. Which
I look familiar too.
Yeah. He's definitely been in some of these roles that, like they are definitely not of the serious type. I like that about him, but him on the show is like, I'm still trying to figure him out. He's going to be somebody that's he's either this or he's either that.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like the princess is going to be my character. She's either going to wow me or she's not, and that's what's going to make or break me from the show.
Yeah. When the next episode come out? Today?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Saturday. It's
Sunday.
come out Saturday.
Sunday.
Sundays. Okay. Cool. All right. Shit.
And it's all crazy. It's just like everything is just everywhere.
Yeah, I gotta catch up. Tomorrow I'm gonna watch the next one. Probably see if I can catch a couple of them so we can talk about it next week.
Yeah.
But
it's definitely out there. So
House of the Dragon. All right.